Welcome to Projects for All. My name is Mike, and today we have 5 3-line laser levels from Amazon sellers to check out. The Takamine we already done. That one has its own video, and you can see that at the end of this one if you like. We have a Cigman, a Dovoh, a Firecore, and a Huepar, and we have 3 different receivers from 3 different companies. They're very similar in form factor, but in functionality, they're very different. So let's get in here and check them out and see if one of them is a good option for you. So let's start with the littlest one. This is model CM701, USB-C type, charging on a 4,000 amp hour internal battery. It's very small and light. It's your control panel, and it has a USB-C port on the back to charge its internal battery. It has a simple switch to unlock and turn it on. The red light indicates that it is out of level. It has a battery indicator here, and you get a button for each of the vertical lines. So you can turn them on individually, horizontal, vertical. If you try and turn them all off at the same time, it'll just turn them all back on. That way you don't leave it powered up. Tilting it, you get a fast flash. This one has a unique feature that none of the other ones have. 4 settings for brightness by pressing the power button, and it'll just round robin. Pulse mode is holding this down, and it'll dim and flash, and now it's in pulse mode, so you can use it with the receiver. Manual mode is holding down with the lock on. Hold down your power button. You'll get an occasional flash to let you know it is in manual mode and not level. You can cycle that switch or hold this button down again to get it to turn off. All the blue you see on here is all overmold. That yellow strip right there is hard plastic, but all of this is overmolded. Takamine, the only one here with an external battery. This is model GM120S, 5200 amp hours. It's a pretty big battery. And replaceable. The batteries, last time I looked, were about 30 bucks online. Quarter 20 mount. Nice lock and unlock switch with this little piece that sticks out, making it very easy to turn on and off. There's your control panel. Very simple. The external battery is removable, obviously. Battery indicator. Oh, upside down. USB-C charging right on the battery itself. Right there. So you can charge this with just about anything. 52 amp hour battery. No retention system, but it sits really firm in there, and you're not going to knock the battery off this thing. These are touch switches. So vertical, cycles. Horizontal, on and off. Long pressing the H puts you in pulse mode. Long pressing the V puts you in manual mode. No flash or indicator in manual mode. It's just in manual mode. A very nice, simple design with a big external battery, which is something I like. The blue is hard plastic. Everything that's black here, with the exception of these, is an overmold. Firecore. Model F94TXG. Lots of overmold on this guy. Quarter 20. Battery. Latches here. Just pull it out. Lithium ion battery pack. FL260 model. And you're going to see a theme going here with these batteries with our next 2. With this extra compartment. That's kind of a mystery, but it doesn't rattle once you shut the cover. 2600 milliamps on that battery, and you'll see we're going to get an extra one in the bag. Lock switch, nice and easy to use. This one has a battery indicator, obviously. Vertical and anti-shock mode. The horizontal is also the manual mode, and then you have a dedicated button for what they'll call just receiver. So that puts you in pulse mode. Get a flash to indicate it's turning on and off. With your lock switch in the lock position, holding down manual mode turns it on that way, and now you can use manual mode. You get a long flash to indicate you're in manual mode and your line isn't level. Now, anti-shock mode is unique to this unit. If you hold this down, you'll see the red light came on, and now it's in anti-shock mode. So if we leave it, it's fine, but the second we touch it, it turns off, and it will not turn back on until you cycle this button again or lock it and unlock it. It's kind of a cool feature. I mean, it's definitely a good way to know if someone bumped a tripod or something. Just the smallest little movement will turn it off, and then it's off until you address it. It has these, I'm gonna say, silicone covers. Each one of these, they're all removable. You just pop them on and off if you want them or don't want them on there. So a little anti-shock. Next up, Dovoh K3 360G model. Almost no overmold on this one. Little anti-skid feet that work fine. This is overmold. Everything else is hard plastic. Latch for your battery. This looks familiar. Model number YM05 on this one. 2600, 19.24 watt hours. Actually has a battery compartment that fits the shape of the battery. Clicks in there. There's our lock and unlock switch. This one, however, has a USB-C port right on the side of it. Not a charging port, but you can run this unit without a battery in it on USB-C power, which is pretty cool. Very simple on the control panel. Out of level gives you an audible sound that I have not figured out a way to turn off. Pressing the buttons, you got vertical, cycles through the vertical lines. Horizontal turns horizontal on and off. When you have your switch locked and you hold down this power button here, that puts you in manual mode. No flash or indicator with this one. You get the light on top. Single pressing that top button there turns you into pulse mode. And you get a little indicator for pulse mode. Last but not least, we got Huepar 603 CG BT, our standard battery latch with our standard battery yet again. FL260 model, 2600 milliamps, and that odd shaped battery compartment, but no rattle on this one either. There is a power port right here. You can run this off AC power. This unit and I believe one other one, I believe it's the Dovoh, come with an adapter to use 4 AA batteries. You get a 1/4 20 and a 5/8 11 right on the bottom, which is pretty cool. Control panel, very simple. Switch on this one. Stylized on an angle, which I don't really like. It's a very stiff switch, and it's kind of hard to switch anyway, but it's at a freaking angle, making it harder to use. Battery indicator. One button to cycle through your laser lines. One button here for pulse mode. Pulse mode on, pulse mode off. Long press the laser button. Puts you into manual mode. And you get a long flash to indicate manual mode. We'll do the Bluetooth at the end. So if you want to see that, check the chapters and you can see the Bluetooth functionality, because it's pretty cool and it works well. Putting them at different levels, shaking the table, and you can see they're all the same. Now it takes them all about the same amount of time to level. The Takamine there is about half a second slower. That's the middle one there that takes a little bit longer, but all in all, I would say totally acceptable. Measuring the distance between each laser is consistent all the way around the room. Laser receivers. So if you're going to work outside in the sunlight where you can't see the laser, this is what you're going to need. This will detect the laser even though you can't see it. I asked for receivers from most of these companies, and once I realized that I was going to receive pretty much the same product in different colors, I decided that 2 was enough. So we have the Cigman and we have one from Takamine, and they are more or less identical. Turning them on, LED's different. The tones are different, but the functionality is almost exactly the same between one and the other. So we'll get these out and make sure they work. Huepar makes one of these, but they also had this unique design. So I decided, why not check that out too? This one here is hard for me to show you. It has a light, the worst backlight I've ever seen, and practically useless. Even if you turn the light out, that light really doesn't do much of anything. But it does center. Choose between different tones. Turn it off. There you go. These have mounts that screw down so they can be attached to a pole or a beam or something. Simple mount. There's a hole to locate, and then you just screw it in. Very similar. All of these came with 9-volt batteries, the mounts, and an instruction booklet. All of these are a similar price point. There are other companies that make these, so if you want one to match your laser level, there's likely you'll be able to get one of these from that company or this Huepar, which also, I did not mention, has the same LCD screen on the backside, so if you're behind it, you can still see what you're doing, which is kind of cool. These have an indicator on the backside and the side. So you have to hit the laser in the screen there, but you'll be able to see it even if you're not in front of it. There's a few unique cases here. Each of them comes with a protective case that's obviously branded. One of them's hard shell, hard plastic. So let's check out what you get in the box. All right, let's start with the Firecore. Obviously, you get your laser level. There's one battery inside, and there's your extra battery. You get your charger base, branded, and you get a plug for it. So included charger, extra battery. These are 2600 milliamp batteries, remember, so having 2 of them makes sense. You get an adapter, so you can use 4 AA batteries instead of the included batteries, should you need it. You get a mount, or a base, and you get a target. Targets are magnetic, allow you to see your laser easier. Clearly you get a manual. Similar case to the Firecore, a similar adapter for AA batteries, which are included in this case. AC adapter, so you can run it right off AC power. A very similar looking mount and target. This one has an insert for the Bluetooth functionality. So you use your plug, which you can run the unit off of without a battery to charge the battery. No external charger is included. Dovoh, similar case, but bigger because the mount's different. So you get an additional battery, a charger, a USB-C plug, cord, and a brick. You get a little different target with a kickstand and a pretty innovative different mount. This one also has a slot for your manual. Cigman, we get a tripod mount, swivels. You get a very basic wall mount with magnets. This one comes with a remote. Works well, has the 2 vertical lines on it. Manual, of course. You get no power brick with this one, but you get a USB-C cord for the internal battery, and you get the target with the kickstand. Takamine, the only one obviously with a hard plastic case. The same tripod mount we just saw. Still swivel. Nice remote. Place for your battery, because your battery does not fit on this while it's in its spot. Metal plate for mounting this to, say, wooden studs. You get a USB charger plug for your battery, and you get this different looking mount than all the rest. Magnetic. No extra batteries included with this one, but they give you a space for it, which I guess is kind of nice in case you want to buy one. So we've got some different mounts. These two won't even sit next to each other because they're basically the same thing. You've got magnets and a way to attach tripod mounts. That's pretty much what we got going on here. That is for the Firecore. The one for the Huepar, exactly the same thing. This one for the Dovoh is actually pretty unique. It's a cool design. It's got a lock right there, so you can adjust up and down on this, I guess we call it rack and pinion. And then you can lock it into position there. You have a way to attach that's adjustable to attach your laser level. This flips around. It's got magnets on the back side, so you could just stick it to something with magnets there. Tripod mount, screw hole right there, and you got a clamp here, so you can clamp it to something. Well, if we flip it over, now it's a tabletop mount that is adjustable up and down. Honestly, this is a pretty unique design. It has a lot of functions in one compact piece. I think it's pretty cool and innovative. The Cigman, magnets, hook, and a way to attach your laser level. Simple and basic. These mounts here, tripod, swivel, which is very cool, and these are adjustable for height, so you can level your level if you need to. Takamine's identical. Takamine mount, I went into more detail in my last video. It has magnets. These magnets, I'll tell you, if you pull this carriage out all the way, the magnets are not strong enough to hold this. So if you bump it, it's gonna skip its way down to the floor. You can put this on any which way. It is adjustable. You have a tilt for your boom here. You can go side to side. You can rotate this base. It's a pretty cool mount. You have the ability to skip this to wherever you want it, and then the end knob slowly pulls it in. There's a threaded rod inside there. So the Dovoh and the Takamine definitely have the most unique mounts. These guys, I mean, they give you a mount. It's better than nothing. Fairly simple stuff. All right, so we got our Cigman out here in the yard. It is casting a line. I have it set for pulse. Let's check out our receivers. There's the Takamine. I can't get a center on the Takamine out here. Even in the shadow. If we put it in the bright light, oh, there it goes. But I can't get it to center. The Cigman, which is this one, I can get it locked. In the bright light, the Huepar, this one, no, nada. However, as soon as we step into the shadow, I'm surprised we're getting different performance out of the Cigman and the Takamine. The Cigman picks it up a lot faster and a lot more consistent. Let's try a different unit and see what happens. That's the Takamine out there. Hits the Cigman just fine. Hits the Huepar just fine. Hits the Takamine, but no center. Bright sunlight. It's hitting it. The Huepar, nothing. Bright sunlight, nothing at all. Takamine. No center. Bluetooth functionality. We have our insert from our owner's manual, and we'll do that and press that, and it will take us right to the app. This is a 12 Pro Max. It will bring you to the Huepar app. Press open, and I already turned my switch on right here. Press that, laser level. So you have your laser level, and there's your functionality. You get horizontal line, vertical line in the front, both vertical lines, all lines back to horizontal, and they're real fast. You can also switch everything off, but it warns you that you need to turn the lock switch off. Hitting that hits pulse mode, Now, I screwed up earlier in the video and told you that the Cigman was the only one with a dimmer, and I was wrong because you can dim this with the app, with that slider at the top there. And you can see it works crazy fast and it works crazy well. So there you are. Bluetooth functionality from your cell phone for your laser level. So which one of these do you buy? I don't think it's something I can really tell you because although the testing of the levels, I had to abbreviate a little bit because there's a lot of them and I wanted you to be able to see all the features. So I will tell you, I've tested them all extensively. They're all return to level. I didn't have any trouble with any of these, and I'm pretty impressed with all of them, really, especially for the price point. They're all very good units. The receivers was a different story, and that was a surprise to me because the Cigman works all the time, no problems. Its clone, or the clone of this one, or whichever way you want to go, the Takamine, won't center unless you're pointed right at it. At a distance, I could not get this thing to show center, which is pretty wild. The Huepar does not work in direct sunlight, period. It works great if you're in a shadow, but if light's hitting the front of this thing, it does not work. So you guys tell me, which one would you buy? Because they're all sort of the same, but they're all very different. You have the unique mounts, which I really like. The Takamine's cool. I like that one. The Dovoh, I think, is the best. It gives you the most options in one unit that you can flip around and stick to a wall or whatever you got to do. I like that one the best. I like the knock sensor on the Firecore, which is unique. And actually, if you think about it, it could be very useful. I like the small form factor of the Cigman. The Takamine, I really like the form factor of this one, and I like the external battery and that it charges without a charger on USB. The touch switches on this one are excellent. All you do is just brush them. You can do it without upsetting the unit at all. And you have the Huepar, which has Bluetooth functionality and can accept AA batteries, just like the Dovoh. There's a lot to think about with these when buying them. So I didn't quote prices in this video because Amazon prices jump around a lot and they've changed since I've had these. I've been watching them. So I put all the links in the description for you. You can go down there and find these on Amazon and see what the current prices are. Thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you found it useful and helpful. If you liked it, hit like on this video, possibly hit subscribe. It very much helps out the channel. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next video.